Hello and welcome to my channel, Making Crafts. I have a fun project for you today and I'm so excited to show you and finally get to do this project. I am creating little fairies, and I also created a topper for the upcoming journal using one of the fairies, and then I've just created decorations for my upcoming journal using the little fairies as well. So I hope you'll join me as I create these little fairies and we'll have fun crafting together. So here are the items that I'm using for the fairies and the frame piece. And all of these items can be found at therubberbuggy.com, and this is my design team project for therubberbuggy.com, so I will link to all these items below. I'm using these butterfly dies again. You've seen these in several of my videos, but I absolutely love butterflies, and so I am hooked on using these dies right now. Also, these dies are marked down in the therubberbuggy.com shop. The last time I looked, they were marked down. But once you click on it, you're going to see the regular price. What you'll need to do is add it to your cart to see the discounted price. And it's that way for all the clearance items, I believe. Once you add them to your cart, you can see the discounted price, or at least that's how it is when I'm signed in. I'm also using the Tim Holtz paper dolls, mini paper dolls, and this is a new item that they got in recently. And I'm using the baseboard frames, and I think this one might be the new one that they got in recently as well. They have some other frames in the shop from Tim Holtz as well, but I wanted this pack. I like the colors in them, and you get 8 frames in this one, so you can make several of these projects. And those paper dolls, you get 133, so you can make a lot of these. I'm also going to be using Catch a Moment Quotes 3 by Craft a Clock, and there's several of these in the shop, so I will link to it so that you know which one I'm using. And then I'm going to be using these inks from, it's Tim Holtz Distressed Oxide and Distressed Ink. And then I'm going to be using the Romantic Collection Garden House by Stamperia. So let's get started on the fairies first. And my fairies, I'm just going to take these little guys and gals and turn them into fairies. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and cut out some butterfly wings, and I just used the die that cuts out the more detailed butterfly. And so I'm going to use those as my fairy wings. So these could be butterflies, or these could be fairies, whichever you want to make them. But I thought it would be kind of cool to turn these characters into little winged creatures. And so I've pulled out a few from the pack. There's so many in there that you could use, but these are just a few that I pulled out that I thought would be really cute as fairies. And I'm missing one of my little girls. Where did I lay her? Oh, I have a bunch more here. I forgot. I have several more here that I've pulled out that I could use. But these are some of the main ones I want to get started with first. So I thought this gentleman here looked really cute sitting on the flower cart, I guess you would call it, the flower cart. Let me put it in view. So I want to make a decoration piece, a decorative piece, and have him on this flower cart. So I'm going to decide now, with him sitting there, what color wings I want him to have. So I've got a sheet of scrap paper here that's printed on the other side, and it's ready for the trash. So I'm going to use it to lay my wings on to ink them. And so I'm just going to take some blending brushes, and let me put the inks with the correct brush so I don't get them confused. I've already been playing with these, and I hadn't cleaned my brushes. Now, I've had this project sitting on my desk for over a week or two, and I've been so excited to do it. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So I want to, where's our little gentleman? Right here he is. So now I want to decide what size wings. So these wings come in 2 sizes. These butterflies come in 2 sizes. There's a wider one and then a narrow one. So I'm going to give him the wider wings. And I've got to decide what color I want to make his wings. I'm going to also pull out my ground espresso because I might want to grunge up his wings just a little bit. We shall see. So for him, he's going to be sitting in a lot of greenery, so we want him to pop some. But let's start out with our cracked pistachio as well as our Mermaid Lagoon and see what we can do for his wings. So this is the cracked pistachio. So I'm just going to blend some onto his wings. And then I'm going to come in with some of the blue and blend it in with the green. These blend really good together. Okay, and so let's just put that behind him and see how he looks with his little blue-green wings. And let's see if that will look okay with our decorative piece that he's going to be sitting on. So I like that, but I want to grunge his wings up just a little bit. So I'm just going to go in with my blending tool. Let's see here, my sponge here, my ink sponge. I think I've gotten paint all over it. And I'm just going to add just a little brown to those wings just to give them a little bit of a more grungy look. Just the edges. And let's take a look and see how he looks. I think that's going to be cute. So for the next one, let's pull this back in here. I don't have room to keep this here the whole time. I liked him sitting on the little flower pot. Let me put that up where you can see it. So I was thinking he could sit there. I think for this guy I will do close to the same coloration, but let's just see. So let's just have him here, and let's just set this aside, and let's do his wings. So I'm going to use the wider wing for him as well, since he is, I think it fits him better. Some of the smaller ones I'll use the narrow wings. So this one, I want to put the green in the middle, and then I'll do the blue on the edges of it. Just kind of mix it up a little bit. I really love how these colors blend together so good and how they look. And let's see with him. And I think I do want to grunge it up just a little. I'm going to pull out another blending brush that I have and do the edges that way, and so I can have more control of how I do the edges. The other was fine, but I think it'll be easier to get just the outer edges if I use this little blending tool. I'm just using the ground espresso again. I know it was off camera. It's hard to see what I was using. Okay, so I like how that looks. I think that's so pretty. These are making beautiful butterflies as well. I'll have to come back and make butterflies also for something else with this, because it's just, I love these butterflies and I love these colors blending together. So we're going to just set him over there. And there's a lot of purples in this kit as well, in this paper pack. I said kit, but I mean paper pack. So in this paper pack, there are a lot of purples as well. So we're going to want to bring those in a bit. I want to keep my brushes in the right spot so I don't mix it up too much. So for our cover, I'm going to use this frame to create a cover for the journal. And I want this little girl on the cover. So I'm going to make her some wings, and I think for her we're going to use the pinks and the purples. And maybe, let me look here for just a second. I'm going to be using this as the flower behind my frame, so maybe I should use more blues. I'm thinking blues and purples for her. Let's just try that first. We can always cut more wings if the colors don't blend well or don't look right with the frame. So I'm going to use this. She's a little girl and she's smaller. I'm going to use the narrow wings for her. And I'm going to start out by, I think I'll just put a little bit of, I was going to go with pink, but I'm changing my mind. Let's use a little bit of blue down the center. And just blend that in down the center of her wings. And blend out just a little bit. And then we will take a little bit of the purple and blend in. So I'm going to get that blended in good. I love how these colors blend. I know I say it over and over, but every one of the colors look good blended together. It doesn't matter if it's the blues or the purples. I don't know what it is about these, but they blend so nicely. So then I'm going to take a little bit of the ground espresso, and I'm just going to add a little bit to her edge of her wings. And I don't even know if you'll be able to see on camera, but in person it does change the color just a little. And I'll try to hold it up so you can see. And I may, let me see, I'm going to lay her on this frame. I kind of like to lay it all out and see. I might want to add just a little bit of green in there somewhere. what if we just added a dab of green right in here, just a little bit. I'm not sure. Like I said, we can always cut new wings if we mess it up. These are very simple to cut. And I did just use your basic white cardstock that you would get from the, kind of like the office supply at Walmart or somewhere like that, and one of the office supply stores. It was just your basic 110-pound white cardstock. I like it to be about 110 pounds because it just strengthens the wings up. I do like that, and I think she's going to look good over here. So let's go ahead and lay her aside with her pieces, and we'll create just a couple more, and then once we have all of the wings created, we will start gluing them onto our little characters. So for this little guy, I have started out with some blue down the center, and then I'm just adding some green, and I think I will come in with just a little purple and see what happens. If it doesn't look good, I can always change it. Just adding some purple because there's a lot of purples and blues in this paper pack, and there's some yellows, but I didn't pull out the yellow to add. I should have. I guess I could have put some yellows, and then I can grunge this up a little bit, just a little on the edges. And this one, the spot I have for him on the little decoration piece, is going to be adorable, I think. So we shall see. Let me see. I think I need to blend. I'm getting my brushes mixed up now. I'm having to look on them to make sure I have the right colors. I think I need to add just a little bit more blue to his. So there we go. It's a little brighter, but we shall see. I'm going to do one more, and then we will get to making our ephemera, our decoration pieces. I call them ephemera, but it's not really ephemera, but it's decorative pieces for our journal. So I like this little girl, and so I think I haven't used any pink, so let's make her some little pink and purple wings. Make her some dainty pink wings here. And this pink is very light, so I'm going to have to put quite a bit on there for it to show up. And then we'll add some purple to it as well. I thought this was a really fun way to color up these butterfly wings. Instead of using one solid color, you know, I could have just cut them out of solid pink or solid purple paper, but I thought this was a fun way to add a lot of more colors to it and really just mix it up a bit. And you wouldn't have to use all the colors I'm using. You could just use two colors together like I'm doing here, and maybe three, maybe two varying colors, and then if you're going to grunge it up, you'll want some little bit of grunge on the edge there. I'm not sure for her if I want to grunge hers up any, because she is a dainty little girl there. I think I'm going to leave hers like that. Just in case you're following along and crafting along with me and creating these same items, I want to show you which ones I'm going to cut out from the sheet for now. I'm going to be using this one. So I'm going to be using the flower cart, the little potted plant here, the pots right here. I'm going to use one of the window frames. I'm not quite sure which one, but they're both the same size, so you could use either one. I'm also going to be cutting out this little clock here and the whole little piece with it. And I'm going to be cutting out this frame. And I think that's all I'm going to be cutting out for now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll be right back with you. So I've gone ahead and fussy cut out all the pieces I think I'm going to use. And I just used my scissors. This is my favorite scissors to use to fussy cut. And I've used them for years, and I love them. And so that's what I do. I don't actually put it on. I do have a electronic cutting machine that I could scan them probably and cut them out that way, but I just never do that. I just love fussy cutting anyway. I think it's faster for me. I'd rather fussy cut than use a computer, so it's faster than using the computer. So now we're going to pull out all of our little fairies, and we're going to attach their wings, and I'm going to save her for last since we're going to be making our frame with her. So I'll save her for last, and let's just work on our other ones. So I'm just going to add a little glue right here on the middle of the butterfly, and then I'm just going to attach the little people to that spot. So there we go, just like that. So he's attached, and what I'm planning on doing with these is I plan on like adding this to pockets or adding it to, like he's big enough, he'll be added to like a pocket, but some of the smaller ones I may add to clusters. I'm not really sure yet. I haven't got it all figured out, but I did know that I wanted to use these guys, these little people with wings on my pages in my journal. So I think that they're going to be adorable. So let me see his little head. Is it going to be glued against anything? Maybe not, so I won't add any glue to it because he's going to be sticking above. So there we go. I like that. That looks adorable. I think that's very cute. Okay, so for the next one, I have the other little guy that's going to be sitting on this little plant pot. So let's add some glue to the center here. I think that'll be enough to hold the wings on. And I just want to adjust the wings where I want them. And he's going to be sitting there like that. Okay, so then we'll add some glue to the back of him. So I have never really played with these till recently, these little people from Tim Holtz, but I'm having so much fun with them. There's so many different little things you can do. I had a video recently, I can't remember which week it came out. It may have been last week or it may have been this past week. I will link to it. I'll look it up and I'll link to it below so that you can see how I use them in another project. And there's so many people that come in this bag that I'm sure I can do lots and lots of projects with them. So now here's our little girl. We'll add some glue to the wings again. But yeah, I think that I can do a lot of projects with them. And just like this frames, it comes with 8 frames. So I'm going to use the frame. I don't know if I've said in the beginning of this video, but the frame is going to be used on the cover of the journal. Find the needle that goes down in there. It's a little clogged. So the frame's going to be used on the cover of the journal. So I'm going to use these on the frame, but there's enough frames in that pack as well that I can make lots more frames for more journals. But I just really thought that this would, that would be a cute way to make a decorative piece for my, a topper for my journal cover. Now I've put glue in the wrong spot, so let me just get a little bit of this paper towel here and just dab it off. All right, that's fine. And let's see, she's going to be sitting on the windowsill here. I thought she was perfect for the windowsill. So that's what I'm going to add her to. I think these where they're sitting and standing and leaning, they have so many different places that you can actually put them on these papers. I think it's really cool. And I know it's 2 different companies, and I love mixing up different companies, products from different companies to make my projects. And so this is a lot of fun for me to see what I can come up with and just play with these items. So let's see, who is going to be on these? Okay, so this gentleman is going to be standing, just kind of leaning on this frame. So I didn't ink any of these because I'm not sure that I want to yet. Oh, let me get something, my little awl here. I'm just going to, I left a few little bits in here when I was cutting it out, so let me get that out. There we go. Oops, I see another one. Let me get all those out before I glue them down, which I think the wings will be sticking out and I can still get it, but I want to go ahead and do it before I glue it to him. So I think this is fun. So my journal is going to have, even though this paper pack doesn't have fairies, it's going to have kind of like a fairy butterfly theme to it too, because I love butterflies. So these could just be what butterflies look like if you could see them close up. Maybe that's what this is. But this is a lot of fun. Let me know below in the comment section, have you used these paper dolls and the mini ones, or which ones are your favorites? I'm not sure that all of them are still available. I know that I think he was kind of getting rid of some from the different series that he had, but I was just wondering if you've used them and what all kinds of projects do you like using them in. So I think that's cute. I think he's standing up. I was trying to make sure he's standing the right way, and it kind of looks like he's leaning on part of the frame. So I like that. And then this little guy, he is sitting down, and the way they cut it, it's round there, like he's sitting on something round. So I thought this little clock would be absolutely perfect for him. So even though these don't come from the same company, I think they may have, it looks like they planned it, huh? but when I saw that, I thought it was really cute. Okay, so I'm just going to sit him there first because I may have to trim part of his wing off. Let me see. Let's just glue his little wing on him and then we'll decide. So it may have to come off so that it looks, so see, he wouldn't be sitting on his wing, he would be sitting on the clock and his wing would be behind him. So let's just take a look here how I want to do this one. So I want him sitting there. I don't want to cut too much of his wing off. I just want it to be like it's, let's just trim it and see. I can always make him another one. Okay. Just have it kind of like that. Kind of like his wing is behind there. I think that looks okay. I'm just trying to follow the curve of the clock. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so we're just going to add him there. Just set him on the edge there. Going to make sure I put him in the right spot so the wing follows the curve that I was trimming it for. His little feet's hanging over. There we go. So I think that's fine. I think that it kind of looks like his wing is behind the clock now, so it makes it more dimensional looking. I think that's very cute. So like I said, these I may add to lace and make a cluster up some of these smaller ones, and then the larger ones are definitely going on pockets and different things. So now for this little girl, let's add her wing, but she is going to be leaning on these little pots here. So I want to see how I want to do this. I think I'm going to have her leaning and then I'm going to add the wings so it looks like it's all, you know, it's correct. But perspective, I think, is what I'm trying to say. So let's just add a little glue to her so that she can lean against this pot. There we go. I put some of that glue so it don't stick to everything. So let's lay these aside and let's start working on the actual frame. So now I'm just going to attach her to her wings. I'm not sure which color combination is my favorite. This is one of my favorite color combinations that I came up with for the wings. I do like this one. So that way it looks like she's standing there leaning. Okay. So now I think we need to, she's going to stand on there. I also want to go ahead and fussy cut out. So here's the front cover. So I'm just going to use some of this greenery on the inside of the front cover. So let me go ahead and fussy cut some of that. So I'm also going to take this sheet and fussy cut some of these smaller flowers out. I'm even going to use this one that's on the edge here. So I've got everything laid out kind of how I think I want it, but I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do the frame over the flower so that you don't lose this whole flower in here, but I kind of want it to be busy. And now I have to decide, I think I want a wording up here off of it, so I have to decide which word I want. I'm either thinking Be Enchanted or Once Upon a Time. So I'm not sure which one. Let's try the Be Enchanted. I think it's got more of the coloring that I need for this frame. So I am going to ink this one so that it stands out. Now they do have other words on the back. That's just another language. So I'm just going to use the English side. And so see how I'm just going to ink it so it kind of frames out the wording. And we'll see if this one works or if we need a different one. I do want to go in and just shade the corners there. See how I'm getting a little bit darker in the corners? And do I want to Be Enchanted up here or down here? I kind of like this little snail too though, so I want to include him somewhere. I'm just not sure where. We could do it like that, or I could have snail falling along the frame here and have the Be Enchanted up there. I don't think I would go wrong either space. Just move these back a little bit. They're not exactly how I could do it sideways too. because this is going on my journal cover. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. I really like it up here, and I like the leaves covering up, so that's how I'm going to do it. I just have to figure it all out as I go. And so now I've just got to figure out where I'm going to cut to attach my flower behind here. So I'm going to use a pencil to mark it. So I'm pretty sure I want the flower to be about right in there. So I'm just going to mark down here, and then I know on this side just to follow the line that's on the paper. So let's slide this aside, and let me see if I see my marking. Here it is. So I get to use my new paper trimmer. I'm so excited about this too. I ordered this the other day from the Rubber Buggy. I purchased it from them. When I saw that they had them, I wanted to give it a try because I had been looking for a new paper trimmer. And the fun thing about this one is there's a light that helps you line up your paper. So I'm going to see, first time using it, now I'm going to test myself and see if I can cut to a specific spot. And we shall see. I'm going to stop about right there because I want to save the bottom half of this paper for my journal. So then there's my pencil line. I'm putting my pencil line on the, right here on the line where the light is, and then I'm just going to line it up with the top here. And let's see how this does. Okay. And I did cut almost to the edge there, but I'm just going to take my scissors and cut that little bit out because I'm scared I'll cut too far down if I don't. There we go, because I'm just trying to save my paper. If I wasn't saving my paper, I would have cut the whole strip, but I'm trying to save my paper for the journal. It may not even be tall enough now. We'll have to see, but that's okay. So this is really neat. And I do have a video showing you, showing you how I used it, but also telling you more about it and how this light works and different things. Okay, so we have our background piece. And I'm just going to slide all of this off for now. I'm going to attach the frame. Now I did cut it a little large because I didn't worry about this side because I wanted to have room to move it around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it, and then I'm going to take my scissors or my X-Acto knife and go back along the edge and trim it off. So that way I made sure I had enough paper on here. And I'm actually going to put the glue on the frame so that I have, so that I don't add glue in the wrong places that's going to be showing through on the top here, but also with the wet glue I'll have time to move it around for just a few minutes to make my decision. Because I'm just sort of, some things like this I need to fussy with. I want it to be in the exact spot, especially since this is on my cover. I want it to be exactly how I had in mind. And I'm liking that right there. So now I'm just going to press it down. And I'll take my scissors. I think I'm going to use my scissors. We will try that. If not, I'll take my X-Acto knife and trim it up. But I think my scissors will do just fine. Let's see if the larger ones, if I can fit in there, because I can cut straighter with my larger scissors than I can with my smaller ones. My smaller ones are great for fussy cutting to do the small stuff, but then with the long straight lines like this, my larger scissors I think work better. There we go. And we'll just cut along the bottom here. I'm trying not to cut my frame any, so I'm just going in and cutting just the paper off. And there we have it. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue right here because it's loose. There we go. Trash those little pieces. There's no use. I did save some of the pieces when I was cutting out the flowers because on the back side there was little bitty things that was on the picture, so I did save those, but these little bitty pieces I will be trashing. Okay, so we have this. So now it's just time to start decorating and adding all of our pieces. Okay, so I've got everything laid out, so we'll just start gluing it. So I want to glue what goes underneath everything first. So this right here is going underneath the leaves. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down first. I think I'm going to have it hanging off the edge a little bit more than I had it laid out there. So let's just see here. I think I want it hanging off the edge just a little. Let me see if that's how I want it. Yes. And then I'm going to have these leaves kind of overlapping and onto the frame. I mean onto the actual wording. And I want everything to kind of follow that curve. So that's what I'm going to do, just glue everything down following the curve. Once I got everything glued on, I felt like I needed something underneath her here, so these leaves here, so I'm just going to add them, and then I'll add the snail. Then we'll take a look and see if it needs anything else. So this is a good start to my topper. I don't know when I add it to my page, to my actual cover, there'll probably be some lace underneath it, or I may add, I'm not sure what I'll add. I am going to go in and add just a little ink on some of those edges. I feel like it needs it just a little bit. I should have before I glued it all down, but I just think that edge hanging over at least needed it. And I do want that edge hanging over because I'm going to, like I said, it's going to be the front of my journal cover. So I like it to be very busy, just a lot to look at for the journal cover, and this is going to be kind of like a garden themed journal, so I thought this would be fun. So here are all of the different pieces that we've made to decorate our journal. And like I said, these are going to be added to pockets or different, maybe even clusters, like this little guy may be added to a cluster and put on a page. I'm totally not sure what my journal is going to be right now. I have an idea of how I want to make it. I want to make it the way I put it together totally different from any way I've done a journal yet, and so I've got to get that part figured out, and then I'm going to figure out what the journal is going to be used for. Is it just a picture journal? Is it, when I do that, they don't have as many pages, or is it going to be a writing journal where I add a lot of pages to it? I'm kind of going back and forth on how I want it to be. I even thought about making this journal just have a lot of pockets to hold ephemera and things. So we shall see once I get going on this one how it turns out. So this is a start, though, to start getting some decorations for it. And so be sure to subscribe below and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I do upload the video of this journal or put it together. I'm not totally sure how I'm going to do it yet. Am I just going to do a flip through of this journal, or will I show the whole process video? We shall see, because I haven't got started on it yet. I thought this would just get me kind of started with it all. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.